Upper Pines campground in Yosemite, and I thought I'd just do a quick tour of our Escape Campervan's Maverick van that we have. It's a Ford E-Series 150 E-Series. We've been in it for the last 2 weeks, maybe a bit longer, and yeah, it's done us well for the last 2 weeks. We've been travelling around California, but I just thought we'd do a quick review of how we found it and what it's like. So this is the inside, in the driver's bit. So it's got all the fancy stuff that vans have. Basically, it's got cruise control you can turn on and then set the acceleration. It's got air conditioning, which works most of the time in reasonable heat. It's worked fine in California, but in Nevada and Las Vegas it's kind of hasn't worked too well. So if you go anywhere really warm, either take a fan or don't go, because it's unbearable. There's 2 USBs, so you can plug in your phone and etc., or a sat nav, and there's 1 aux lead that you can plug in, so you can play music through the stereo. There's lots of cubby holes. It's full of kind of crap at the moment, but it's 3 drinks holders and another little cubby hole down there, and 1 around the corner. You can also put stuff in the glove compartment. Yeah, that's probably about it to say in here. All the Escape Maverick and the non-Maverick campervans, all the Maverick ones have all fancy design. We've got Cletus, which is some sort of hillbilly Mississippi looking thing. It's probably the least funkiest one that we've seen though, in fairness. So they're all petrol tanks on the driver's side, and also so is the water. So there's a 20-litre gallon tank for fresh water, for the tap for cooking. I wouldn't drink out of it though. And then there's also a 20-litre grey tank, which is down here with like a little nozzle that you can undo to set the Manc water going. Yeah. Oh, and Megan has arrived. And this is the back. And in a very non-sexist way, show us the kitchen.
Let's recycle that. So pump tap. A tap that doesn't really fit the thing, so you kind of have to hold it in when you wash up, which is a bit annoying.
Yeah, the plug's a bit shit.
They only supplied us with this, so we've bought some sponges, but you know. So there's 3 cups, 3 plates, 3 bowls, and a couple of pans and a saucepan. They do it for free in case you have 2 adults and a child, and this van can fit 5, I think, if you have a roof box on the top. So the gas stove's in here. Check out the sides. This attaches to here, screws on, so it sits like that. And we have 2 of these gas bottles, and that just clips in there.
Yeah, they supply 2 of them, and we've been using that for the last 2 weeks. About 1 bottle, and it's worked perfectly fine. We've been using it two times a day, maybe, and we're still on the first bottle, so I don't think you really need to buy another one, unless you were going to be going for a month or so. Yeah.
There's a fridge. A little tiny drawer fridge. It's all got water in a minute because everything's in the bear cage over there because we're in Yosemite. So it fits quite a lot. We've had like sort of 2-3 days worth of dinner in there.
Same with the aircon though. It works fine in sort of normal Californian heat, but the Las Vegas, Nevada, Arizona in the summertime kind of stopped keeping things cool, but that's kind of expected when it's 45 degrees outside. They do give you some other shit. They give you some cups, and more cups, Escape Campervan cups. Some stuff for electronic hookups. So there's an extension lead with a couple of plugs if you need to charge anything other than the USBs in the front, and if your site has it on high hookup, a space heater to keep you warm even though it's boiling, and we've got a picnic table which we wouldn't really advise buying. We thought it might be useful, but most of the sites that we've been in have picnic tables, so it's not necessary. But they do give you some chairs, which is useful for most of the sites as
3 chairs.
3 chairs.
We need 2.
And that's about it at the back, apart from you have, I'll explain in a bit more detail in a minute, but you have a light at the back which is useful for cooking in the night time. Keeps most of the area illuminated, but not the best. Anyway, so that's the back. More of the funky side of the van. This is the dining area slash sleeping area. So at the moment it's in kind of daytime mode, in sleeping mode. It's got quite a lot of storage space. So at the back, behind the kitchen, where all of our bags are at the moment, there's 2 more cubby holes down there which can fit most of our food, as there's not much storage space for food in the back, and that's where we've been keeping our kind of day's food. But there's more storage space underneath here. This pillow was originally in here, but we've taken it out and put our clothes in there, and that's all of our clothes basically, bar a couple of pants and socks that Megan hasn't put in from our big 70 litre bag. So it's got quite a lot of clothes storage, but it's a bit faffy to get to stuff when it's in bed mode. But yeah, so as Megan was saying, it can seat 5 adults, but originally 3 without the rooftop, and there's seatbelts and shit in the back, so you can have 5 people in this van, 3 in the back and 2 in the front. And yeah, so that's about it for daytime mode. Got a table, it's pretty flimsy, but does the job. So we'll switch it into nighttime mode and continue on.
Bedtime making mode. I think Escape Campervans do supply a video on their Facebook page, I think, of how to change it into a bed, but I thought it might be useful to put it on YouTube as well. Go for it, Tim.
Super quick. So, underneath here is where we've managed to keep some of our bedding.
They supply you with all bedding, sheet, two fairly comfy pillows, decent duvet. We actually got quite cold at night when we first got here, even though it's boiling, so we ended up buying a blanket from Ross.
Buy one from Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart's cheaper.
A big Walmart, that is. So yeah, that's all of the bedding stuff in there. But so to switch it into bed mode, basically, pull that off.
Just slots off.
And then kind of twist and pull that out. Basically, you can store these anywhere, but we've just kind of been making it up as we go along. But this we kind of just tend to chuck in the back, sort of out of the way. And this thing, for the time being, we just kind of put out of the way. Floor perhaps. Cool, so then it's just a rock and roll bed. Basically, you put it out and almost bridges the gap. There's another one of these slats underneath here, and then, as I said, it's a rock and roll bed, so just pull it. Get rid of all your seat belts.
Move the seating cushion and then slide the bits back in. So that one has a, that's the bit with the table on, and that goes in with where the slot is over there.
Cool, so that bridges the gap. I'll put one pillow down. second pillow down. Take off your shoes. Then you're in bed mode basically. I don't need to show you how to put a bed together. But sheet, pillows, duvet, happy days.
There are all the curtains go around, so you've got constant blackout when you go to sleep. Although there is a tiny gap at the top in the middle, so we've been putting towels over the sun visors in the front, but I think that's just because we're fussy.
So yeah, I mentioned about the light in the back, and that is powered by the solar panel, which is on top of the roof. And so powers the fridge. But then you do have these lights, but they're just like normal car lights, so they run off the normal car battery. So they'll time out after about 5 minutes if you have the door shut. So they're decent, they light it up, but it's not the best way to light up the inside of the van. So they really could do with, like, there's even a hole here, another light running off the solar panel on the top. But what we've been doing is just putting a head torch somewhere, like in this broken vent, and that keeps it light.
Or you just have to keep opening the door every 5 minutes when it goes off on the timer.
Yeah, and that's all about in here really. So far it's been fine, we haven't had massive quibbles with the van, apart from the fact that it gets really warm, but that's just not the van's fault. The aircon could do with being a bit better and stuck in the fridge, but for the space that you get, it's worked for 2 people enough. I wouldn't like to have a small child in here as well. I noticed something about our camper van yesterday, in addition to all the freshwater tank and grey water tank stuff. Underneath, on the Mavericks, in here, unscrew it, and this whole black tube contains a pipe, which is very useful, especially here. Maybe not for the freshwater because we managed to get by, but for the mank water and the dump stations that they have around in Yosemite are only for the big camper vans with the big pipes. So we managed to use the pipe and dump all of our shit. So yeah, handy.